right. Thank y'all for tuning in to Transform. I have a special guest. He's no stranger to me, but I built up a relationship with this man right here. He came a mighty long way, literally from my God, Chino.
Yeah.
My God, that's far. But he's from Chino. This man right here, he been through a lot. I want him to tell you his story and not me tell you his story. But thank you for tuning in to Transform. I thank all you guys for subscribing. I thank you guys for all your likes and your comments. Man, it's a blessing, man, because it's not me, man. It's what God said to do. So, John, thanks for coming through to Transform. So, how can I put this? My question is to you, John, as you know that this podcast is called Transform. So who is John, first and foremost? Let me just ask that question.
Man, John's like a very loving person. I got a big heart. Okay. You know, I'll take my shirt off my back for a complete stranger, you know?
Okay.
But it wasn't always like that. You know, that was God's love and God's power that kind of changed my life, you know? I'm very, like, to myself sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people say, like, oh, man, I don't really... You know, he doesn't really talk a lot, but when I get to know you, then some people tell me, man, he won't be quiet, you know, because, like, I'm really good with my words. I'm a very, like, articulate person.
Okay.
Like, I know how to finesse. I know how to sound really educated. Sometimes, you know, I just played the, you know, kind of dumb role, kind of the dumb one in the room, but, like, I was the type of person that just sit back and I love to study people.
Okay.
Like, I have to, you know, check the temperature of the room before I get in there, you know, just to feel the vibe out, like, because I have, like, a really big gift with discernment.
Okay.
So, like, I know when, like, say, for instance, somebody were to get high or something, like, I just know, you know?
Yeah.
But who John is, man, John is what God made me. You know, I honestly, since I came up here, I only went by the name John, either incarcerated in jail or in school. Nobody knew me as John. Nobody knows me as John down where I live. Like, my family still calls me Ricky.
That's heavy.
And so when they chop it up, like, oh, hey, Ricky, and then, like, I have the people around me where God transformed me and know me till this day, like, they know my testimony and stuff. They're like, who's Ricky? And I'm just like, man, you don't want to know Ricky.
Yeah.
You don't want to know Ricky, you know?
Yeah.
But, man, it's just, I think it was just the things that I've went through that I've overcame that made me the person I am today.
Okay.
You know?
You just said a key word, overcame. Because, John, I seen you overcome some things. Just like what you just said, I'm very similar. I observe people because all these years of 23 years, just observing, you know what I mean? Like, and I seen you at your ups, and I don't know if you remember when I bought you that leather, I think it was a leather something for your car. Remember?
Oh, yeah, the key holder.
The key holder, right?
Yeah. I still got that.
You still got it?
Yeah, I still got it.
But I did that because I felt how you are. You know what I'm saying? I don't just, what does it call? I don't cash my swine too early. You know what I mean? I just don't bless a person. But I seen... And that was at Union City. That was at the Union City Nights Out, right?
Yeah.
That was what we was doing in our...
It was at the BART station.
It was at the BART station, right? And they was doing the...
little rally.
The little rally and all that stuff. And you was amazed, and I remember today, because you was amazed that I did it. You was like, Oh, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
How much do I owe you? Like John, this dude was asking me like, "Hey, bro, what you? Okay, how much do I owe you?" I was like, "Bro, don't worry about it, man. Don't worry. For real? Like, yeah, don't worry about it, because I always seen in certain people, like what you just said. I learned how to become a chameleon, just like you. And I observed that about you. You know how to blend in. And, you know what I mean? Be that chameleon and just, I'm in here. I'm out here. Woo. Yeah. And I respect that about you, because this man right here is a hard worker, man. Not just in the ministry, but in life. His certain people, I don't know what people, but certain people, you can watch their life from the outside. Mm-hmm. And then you, like, I see your life, how you operates with your daughter, right? Not just with the church, but outside of the church. Because some people will start becoming religious and not have a relationship, if that makes sense. But you have a relationship. I see that in you. And that's why I wanted you to come to Transform, because Transform is about what, and this is a question I'm going to ask you, not just who's John, but what makes John John. Like I know what makes me Derek, but what makes John John? What give you that zeal of, I can't give up, I can't throw in the towel, I got to come out of this? Because we go through our lives, you know what I mean? We go through life things, right? And from us going through life things, we go through that time of, okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? Like I'm shrinking. Yeah. You might be smiling in your face. Hey, all right now, come on down. I got you, Brad. What's up with it? Yeah. But inside, you're like, I'm done. Yeah. So what keeps John keep going, pushing? I know it's God. Yeah. I get that. But what makes John keep pushing?
Man, I mean, we could probably start like all the way from like the root of like where it all started. Okay. You know, like, I mean, I got a heavy testimony. I just don't really I don't put it all out there for everybody, because like me, myself too, I could be judgmental at times and stuff, but I learned like giving people benefit of the doubt, you know? So like, man, it probably started like when I was like really young. When I was really young, like me, I'm the single sibling of my mom and my dad. So I'm the only child from them. And in my younger years, my mom remarried to my well, I got six brothers. I got 6 brothers, no sisters. You know, Sheesh. They're all from different dads. Or I got 6. 2. Well, it's just 2 sets of dads, or 2 sets of dads, and then I got a lot of stepdads.
Okay, I understand. I understand. I got you.
So I got 2 my littlest brothers. That's Noah and man, I gotta remember all their names, man. That's a lot of names, dude. That's a lot. It's Noah and Andrew are my 2 littlest brothers. Then I got Isaac and Damien. Those are like my mid-level brothers. And then the ones that are older is Adrian and Christian. Okay. So when I was younger, when my mom remarried to my brother's dad, his name was Daniel, and that was for Adrian and Christian. Okay. Those are the ones that like I grew up with the most, you know? Okay. Man, being a stepchild is really hard. Like, especially like, I don't know if he was doing drugs back then when he was messing around with my mom and stuff, but like I would always remember them fighting and stuff. And like, when I was younger, I used to get molested a lot by him. So like, and total of my life, I've been molested like 3 or 4 times. Jesus. Wow. So like, wow. And he did it till like when I was able to understand like right from wrong, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I'm also like a really good writer.
Okay.
Like I used to always score like 4s on my high school exit exams and things like that, but it was a punishment that I had from him in my younger years. He would make me write sentences. Like whenever I got in trouble, he said, "I will not do this" or "I will not do that," and he used to give me like hundreds and hundreds of them. So I'd be like stuck in my room all day just writing these sentences, and like, man, I mean, I look at it like maybe that's how I got good at writing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that happened for a while. Then my mom ended up divorcing him. And like I really didn't talk about it with her yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I got really good memory. I can remember all the way back to like preschool days.
Gee whiz.
Like I can remember like days in kindergarten, like when I was riding the little tricycle with the little 2 lanes. And I can remember all those days. Like there's like vivid memories. And I don't know it's because of what happened, but like certain like memories just pop up in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So when she got with the next guy, he was just like a jerk in total. Like never really respected me. We would always be fighting. I remember one time I stole his car and just went like joyriding with my friends and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like when that happened, I ended up getting in like a fist fight with him. Mm. So that kind of like introduced me to like violence more. Like I would get in like street fights here and there, but like with him putting on hands on me, it kind of like I don't know, like I like violence. Like it got me to like I like pain. Like I like the hurt. So she was with him for a cool minute. You know, I did all right in life, but I was still young. And I was still dealing with like my own hurts and how it was going. So after that happened, I think it was like around the age of like 16. 16 is when I stuck a paper in my room, like, cause my mom chose her new husband like over me. She wouldn't really like listen to me. She wouldn't like take like to heart what I was going on or how I felt about situations. So I ran away from home at 16, and I went to go stay with one of my friend Chris's. Because I had three best friends that were all named Chris.
Wow.
3 best friends are all named Chris, and we were always together all the time. But I remember like just packing up a duffel bag of all my clothes, and then I just wrote on a piece of paper, "I'm never coming back," and stuck it on the wall. And I was out on the streets from 16 to like 18. And like my mom would go look for me in the streets. She would like, she knew where I kick it at and my hiding spots, but every time I see her pull up, she would like try to pull over and get me in the car, and I would run away. I would just kept running away. And like the friend that I chose to stay with, Chris, his mom was a crystal meth addict. Oh. Wow. So like she let us do whatever we wanted there. It was like the party house. Yeah. You know, so like she would buy us beer, or we would have an Uncle Tom that he always kicked out on the porch, and we'd get him a couple of 40s, and you know. But it was in his room one day where I guess they were weighing out, like they were doing a deal or something. So they always asked us to step out of his room because his room was in the front of the house. So they were using, like, he had a computer desk with like a sound system. He had like a banging system. He had like 2 Stadium Cerwin-Vega 10s. Sheesh. Like you can hear his house from down the street. Whee! That's how the girls like coming over, you know? It was just a party house. Yeah. But I guess when they weighed the sack, they left one. They left like a whole, it was like an 8 ball on the desk. And me and him like went back in the room when we picked it up, and we're just like, man, what's this? You know, and then we just started tweaking out, dude. Like we started doing it, and then we would just write on paper for days, tagging on paper, writing on paper, you know. Wow. And you know, that led up to just me doing like a downward spiral, like for a cool minute in my life. You know, I got kicked out of like my mom's house various times. I never went back there until like my later years in life, but like I went to go stay with like my aunts. I tried staying with my dad for a little bit. You know, my dad, me and him really didn't have a relationship. He wasn't really around that much in my younger years. You know, like I guess when I was younger, my mom's mom really didn't like him. Like I'm pretty sure I if I remember right, or what they told me is like I think they almost paid him to stay away from me.
Wow.
You know, they wanted to pay him like $5,000 to stay away from me because they didn't like him.
That's mad.
So like, after the younger years and after later on, like, I re-met up with a girl that I took her virginity with in junior high.
Okay.
Her name was Heather. That's my baby mama.
Okay.
Like, man, and I love this girl. Like, she was super cool, you know. She was like a spitting image of me. Like, hustle-wise, like, street cred, you know, about getting things done. Like, so, like, man, that was a pretty rocky point in my life, too, because then I was slanging, like, pounds of marijuana. I was starting to dip in like pounds of meth and messing with biker gangs and all kinds of stuff, and I'm just like, man, this is starting to get crazy. So I was running around with her for a while when we re-met back up like 10 years later. And I was just like, hey, she's like, yeah, dude, you're the one that took my virginity. And I was like, in the back of the van at my homie's house. And it's just like, yeah. And I was just like, man, it's a small world. I was like, where you been at all my life?
Yeah.
You know, so, but it was always like, leading me back. Cause like, I think, the biggest turning point in my life was when I got in a fight with my father.
Okay.
Like we got in a fist fight.
Your biological father.
Yeah, my biological father. Like
Okay.
I went to go stay. Well, let me rewind back a little bit. I was staying with my mom for a little bit, but I started messing around, and my mom was just fed up with it. She was just like, man, you know what? I've been saving money, and she just randomly picked up and moved to Mexico one day.
Wow.
Left me in an abandoned house. She was just like,
wow.
Got all. I mean, she asked me to help. I helped her load stuff up in there, but like after when the house is empty, she's like, well, what are you gonna do now? You can't stay here. Can't stay here, you know. Wow. And I was just like,
wow.
I remember that night I cried myself to sleep, and I was already like 20-something years old though. I remember I cried myself to sleep in that empty house, like just like wondering, like, man, what am I gonna do? So so that's when I hit my dad up. And I went to go stay with my dad for a little bit, and he's just like, man, what happened? I was just like, my mom moved to Mexico. Yeah. Just like that. Like, she bounced. Like, after she packed up the house, she left, like, that day. Left to Mexico. She lives all the way in Oaxaca.
Well, what?
Oaxaca.
Never. That's in Mexico?
That's way down there in Mexico.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
So.
Wow, Oaxaca.
Yeah, Oaxaca.
Wow, that's crazy.
So,
man.
I mean... she was a really hard worker though, you know. She was just tired of working. You know, she saved up. They built a house down there. She got like all these little animals and things like that. But when I got in a fight with my dad, I was staying with him. I was already messing around. You know, that was just like my rock bottom right there.
Yeah.
Because like I never thought that I would fist fight with my dad, and like I did it in front of my little brothers. And his ex-wife, or I don't know what terms they're on right now, but because I was staying there with her without him there. He was staying like renting a room in Pomona or something. And when we fought that day though, she was just like, man, that's it. Like my dad told me to get out, she told me to get out. And I went to a Metrolink, and I slept at the Metrolink for like a couple, like the train station, for like a couple of nights. I mean, she like gave me a blanket and things like that. But I was just like, I literally slept on the benches there for like a couple of nights, and then I was just like, man, this is getting whack. Yeah. So like one day I met this like random group of people. It was this girl and this other dude, I think he was like Filipino or something, and they were just like, hey man, let's go be homeless at the beach. And I was like, what?
That's
Yeah, like
How do
who
you-
does that?
who
Like,
does that?
like are you guys like nomads or something?
What
Like, is
the
this
heck?
like you
Wow.
guys just do this yearly? Is it like that time of the season to go to the beach or something?
Yeah.
So I hopped on the train with him.
Okay.
But the guy that was there was a guy and girl. The guy that was there, he's like, man, we gotta make a quick stop in Upland. And that's where like I grew up. That's like where like I knew everybody, you know? So he's like, man, I gotta stop in Upland because I gotta go pick up some money or these shoes that I gave to this guy. He owes them to me. Because like down there, like at the Metrolink spots, like boom, you could just take a Metrolink to each city. And when you get off in that city, it's just like you got like your regular random people that always kick it there, that turn up, they get high, they get drunk. So it's like if you get bored in one city, you just hop on the Metrolink and go to the next city.
That's crazy.
So we stopped there in Upland, and I was like, man, dude, I was just like, I felt like I was back at home. Like I felt like a calmness over me over that fight that happened with my dad and stuff. So. Man, and then like right when I get off the train, I was like, I see one of my childhood friends there. Like he was my best friend in sixth grade, and he was there like homeless too, though. Or he wasn't homeless, like he lived with his mom and stuff, but he preferred always to be on the street. And he's just like, "What's up, dude?" And then it just turned into a quick stop, and that's where I became homeless for like 2 years.
Wow.
2 years there.
Wow. Wow.
So, and then like me, I'm a hustler. Like, like I'm not gonna sit there and not go get an EBT card, get an Obama phone, like, you know. So, I had a tent. Like, I literally lived on the side of a freeway overpass, like not like where the bridge is at, but like up there they have like these washes.
Okay.
So it's like a concrete like there's like a big thing, and then you got like the side of the freeway and then the freeway down there, and then you got this top part that just like dips in. So it's like it's called the wash, but down this wash you had like, I don't know, 15 to 20 homeless people living in one spot.
Sheesh.
All with different tents.
Sheesh.
You know, like, and I was just like, that's like when I think the devil had me locked in right there. Like, I just felt like that's where I was supposed to be, you know? So, and then of course then like, that's when I like really started getting heavy into doing dope. Like I started slamming it. Like it got bad, man. Thank God I never got like AIDS or HIV or hepatitis B or hepatitis C. Like, I'm like good. Like when I get locked up or when I go donate plasma or something, they're like, "Oh, you're clean," and I'm just like, man, I'm happy that nothing ever happened like that. But throughout that little part right there, that was when my baby mama, she had my daughter living with her. You know, like I kind of got ahead of myself. Like I was with my baby mama for like 4 years. I asked her to marry me and everything, and then like I just got too caught up with work and doing dope, and I used to work like 16-hour days, come home, then watch the kids, and she would go to night school to become a nurse and stuff. So it was just like I was just getting really burnt out, you know. And then one of us had a great idea I turned my garage into like a grow room.
Okay, what is that?
Growing weed.
Oh, grow room. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like,
okay.
I had like, I don't know, like 135 plants in my garage.
Sheesh.
Like my homeboys came through and like connected like to the transformers, so that way they couldn't like detect it on my bill and things like that. Like it was like fully legit, but like, man, I was getting too high and too wasted. Like, and one day I got like kind of drunk and like on the verge of passing out. My daughter opened the front door and she started walking outside.
How old was she then?
She was like 3 or 4. So she walked like kind of down the street, and then like the neighbor like brought her back, and the cops pulled up, and they're just like, man, like,
no.
So they just came in and they just searched the house. Boom.
It was over.
Yeah, and it was over. They took everything. They took custody of my daughter, but my mom went and got her like that same day, and my mom took custody of her while they figured all this stuff out. But I guess they did an unlawful search.
Ooh.
An unlawful search.
Oops.
Yeah, so like all the
charges.
The charges on because my baby mama was there at the time where they came raiding. I wasn't there. We separated a little bit, and I was staying at my mom's house. So she calls me crying like, "Hey man, I just got raided. They took my daughter Bella, you know," and I'm just like, she's all, "Can you come and take the rap for it?" I said, "What?"
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, she said, "Can you come take the rap for it?" And I was just like, "I can't, dude. I'm a felon. I have a strike already.
Yeah.
I did like a first-degree residential burglary when I was like 18 years old.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I can't do it, dude. If I do it, it's a
you'll
wrap.
watch.
Yeah,
You'll watch.
I'll be 20 to 25." And she's just like, "All right."
Wow.
So
that's crazy. That's
yeah.
bad.
So back to when I was in that wash. She had my daughter with her living at her grandma's house.
Okay.
So she was still doing all right, kinda. All right, kinda. But me, I was doing bad. Like I was heavy into drugs and stuff. So, man, like I would always go to my grandma's house because she lived like where I was at. My grandma's house was like a little bit down the city this way. I live like in Upland, and in Upland you got like Montclair, Ontario, Rancho, Fontana. They're like all connected right there.
Okay.
So like I had my grandma's house, and I would always go down there, and she would always feed me. Like she wouldn't let me inside, but she would feed me on the porch. She'd be like, "Oh, here," like once in a great while, like me, I always made sure like I stayed clean. Even when I was homeless, like I knew all the apartment complexes with like the outdoor showers and things like that, or I would hustle enough to get like a gym pass and go in there and take a shower. Like, wow. So I was doing that for 2 years, and then I don't know how my grandma and my uncle Art Acevedo, he's a part of Victory Outreach Pomona.
Okay.
He's been with them for 25 years.
Okay.
So I don't really know how they clicked up. I don't know if he was like, I don't know if she reached out to him or he reached out to her, but like one day I was over there, I was like eating and stuff, and he pulls up like, and he's just like, "What's up, dude?" And I was just like, "What's up?" And he's just like, "Oh man, dude, I just heard you were doing bad and stuff." And he's like, "Man, just let you know we're keeping you in prayer and stuff like that, you know?" Like my family knew what I was doing. Like they would, like if I were asking them like to come bring me some food or something, or bring me some cigarettes, they would come do that for me. They would like come out their way, like take me out to eat or something. Like they still loved me. They just didn't like what I was doing. Okay. You know, so I think right then and there the seed was planted. But like I was still messing around. And when one day I just got like, I was just down and out. I was down and out, and I went to go assist one of my friends doing something, and he went to go like rob a house that they were doing construction on, but had all the tools like in the garage. So he came up on all this stuff, and he's just like, "Oh, hey man, can you follow me over here?" Because like we were both on bikes, and he's like, "Hey man, if you want, like, can you help me? I gotta move this stuff from over here." Like I was completely oblivious to what was going on. He didn't tell me that he was gonna hit a lick or anything. So we're riding our bikes back, and he's carrying all this stuff like on a bike trailer and all kinds of stuff. And the cops pull up, and they just whooped up on us like, "Blue," you know. And I had like a syringe on me. I had a sack, and I was just like, "Man, dude, do I really feel like going to jail today?" And like, I don't know what got hold of me, but I just decided to run away from the cops. Like they already were. They
right there?
Yeah, they were
and
right.
You run?
Yeah, they were right. Like already parked up. They were already outside of their vehicle. They were like walking up to me.
What?
Yeah. So like, I tried to run away, and this one, the guy officer, he like tried to like grab on my shirt and like pull me, and I was like dragging him as I was running, and like. He hit like the side of his face, like on like a brick. What is it? Like the little planters in front of the house.
Yeah.
So this dude was bleeding.
Yeah.
Man, dude, and that was that was when I did my first prison term for felony evading. I got 3 years. 3 years with 85.
Wow.
With 85.
With 85.
With 85. But so I was in county jail for like a year because in San Bernardino County I did the double up on time.
Okay.
So I did a year in county,
Mm-hmm.
which counted as 2 years,
Mhm.
and then I went upstate for like, I wasn't even up there for that long. Like I think I only did like 6 or 8 months.
Dang, bro.
So, but
That's
like
sad.
because of the charge, felony evading, and then how that cop got hurt, boom, like I'm not like a really gang banging like tough dude, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm affiliated.
Yeah.
I never got jumped in a gang.
Yeah,
Never gang banged on nobody.
Yeah.
Because I figured if I'm allowed to mess with all of them, then I can make money.
Yeah.
Not
I
if I
understand.
join your clique,
understand.
I can't go to this next city
Yeah.
because you guys are enemies,
Yeah.
and I can't flip for you, and you
Yeah.
can't flip for me, and I
Yeah.
can't make no money.
Yeah.
So I just kind of stayed in the neutral zone.
Yeah.
But because of my charge, boom, landed me on a 180 yard, which was a level 4.
Sheesh.
So it was in a 2-man cell.
Sheesh.
And like every single cellmate that I got was doing like, man, my first cellmate when I got to prison,
Mm-hmm.
his name was Gordo. He was from Hemet. 25 years he was doing.
He was 25.
He stabbed his mom's boyfriend like literally. Like he stabbed his mom's boyfriend, and I was just like, man, dude, like, but like doing my first time with people that were doing a long time, like really like made me like learn to respect a man.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
because like when you go to a place like that, like you have
Mhm.
to sit down when you
Mhm.
pee, you know, you have to
Mm-hmm.
clean, you have to work out, you have to, it's
Mhm.
just like a whole nother, it's not like you're just
Mhm.
chilling in a dorm.
Mm-mm.
It's not like you're chilling in a dorm. So
Mm-mm.
that kind of like, I think that little stretch right there really like fortified like my mentality.
Mm.
You know, like
Mhm.
it got me to let my yes be yes and my no's be no.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when I got out of there in 2019, October 16, 2019, I got out. Boom! I went to go visit my daughter. Went to go visit my baby mama.
Mm-hmm.
But then like I had my gate money. I was doing things in there, and
Mhm.
somebody blessed me with like $600. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it wasn't that long for me to veer off again.
Mm.
Like, I almost want to say that same night I went. Yeah,
The same night you get out.
I get out.
I swear.
The same night that I get out, I end up right back where I first started.
What the world?
And I was like, what
What just
going
happened,
on?
right?
Yeah. But like, this is like where God kind of fell into play, because like he like blew my mind. He's just like, he was just giving me revelations. He was just like, John, like,
yeah,
because I was reading my Bible in the pen, right? I was going to Bible studies and things
Okay.
like that, so the word was already starting to get in me.
okay,
But like, he kept on telling me, like, man, dude, you just got done doing 3 years in prison.
mm-hmm.
You know, you just got out and see your daughter, and then you're right back in the same place you were 3 years before. That's what he told me. Like I heard it in my head. He's all, you're right back where you were at 3 years before, in the same exact spot,
That's crazy.
in that wash, with the same exact people doing the same exact thing. It was like a deja vu, like, but like a crazy one, because like I was looking around and I was just like, dude, I was just doing this 3 years ago. So like right then, that was kind of like, I was already like, man, what am I doing?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
what am I doing? So like, I was already starting to get in my head more, and so I went, I scored, I got some more dope and stuff, and I did like a full pull shot, like as much as you could in the syringe. Boom, and like I coughed and I got like really lightheaded, and the bottom of my feet got hot.
Yeah,
And I was just like, I was tripping out in the wash that day, because like I couldn't enjoy my high. Like I was super, I was super high, but I could not enjoy it.
Yeah,
I was like, what's going on? So like I was sitting there thinking, and then like, man, this had to be God, because in the wash, like way down, like you're on the side of a freeway, there's a big brick wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the way down at the very end, there's a fence.
Mm-hmm.
A fence down there, and like I would keep looking down there. And when I looked down there, man, I swear to God, I kept on seeing like my daughter. Like she would just be holding on the bars and like looking like down the long thing.
That's heavy.
And I was just like, man, what am I doing here?
That's heavy.
Like, and that kind of scared me because I could have really swore like I was tripping out. I was just like, man, she's down there. She's like,
that's heavy.
Looking for me on the side of the freeway.
Yeah.
You know? And like after that day, I went back to my grandma's house and I was just like, man, I was like sad. I was disappointed in myself. And at my grandma's house, my uncle popped back up again. After that happened, like okay, when I seen her right there at the end of the freeway, that night I went to a hotel known like drug spot, right? I was sitting there getting high, and the lights went out on the whole block.
Wow.
On the whole block, pitch black, and I'm in a motel.
That's mad.
And when I'm there, all I hear is, man, Jesus loves you. And I was like...
That's mad.
I was like, who? I was like, I asked the people, I was like, who is that?
Yeah.
Because it was actually somebody saying, Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
Jesus got a plan and a purpose for your life.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that's just Victory Outreach. They come here all the time and they evangelize and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting there getting high, like...
Yeah.
And that's like... It was a more tugging for me, and like... Then that next morning, I went to my grandma's house, and my uncle popped up, and he's just like, I had a sack in my pocket. I mean, I had a little bit of money. I didn't know what my next move was. Like, I was already, what is it called when absconding from my probation?
Okay,
because I never checked in when I got out.
Yeah.
So they were already like, oh, there's already a warrant out for your arrest. So I'm just like, am I gonna go back in and come back out and do the same thing? Or my uncle was like, man, I got this place that I want you to try. And I was like, what is this place? He was all, have you ever heard of Victory Outreach? And I was just like, yeah, I heard about them. Like, I've been to rehabs like in Mexico in my younger year. My mom sent me to Mexico for like when I was like 16 for weed. But I ended up doing more drugs down there than I probably ever would have did up here. That's like a whole nother story. That
I want you back for that one. I want you back for that one.
Going to a rehab in Mexico, like Mexico is crazy, dude. Like I literally lived in an inpatient rehabilitation center down there for like a year plus, almost 2 years. But like he told me about this place, and he's just like, man, I want you to try this place. They got a men's home. At first, he was trying to send me to the ranch in San Bernardino, and I was like, I was born in San Bernardino. I was born in San Bernardino Community Hospital, and I was just like, I'm never going back to San Bernardino. I don't like San Bernardino. San Bernardino just releases a whole nother beast in you. And then he was trying to tell me where I was at, and I was just like, I'm not going to the boondies, dude. They kind of did that with me when I went to Mexico. Like, I was in the middle of nowhere. So I was like, I'm not doing it. He's like, all right, fine. Then how about the one over here by me, and I'll come visit you all the time, Pomona. I was like, oh, all right. And then so we called them. They were full. So I was just like, well, so that plan didn't work out. And then he was just like, well, there's one more. And I was like, all right, dude. So he called him. Boom. He answered the phone. Brother Gonzalo Herrera, the home director that's there right now, he answered the phone, and he just told me like, man, are you ready to change your life? I was like, yeah. And then
that's it?
That's it, yeah.
That was it?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. Like,
wow.
But like I was still holding on. Like, I was holding on. So he was just like, all right. So then I guess they talked or something. And then I was just like, all right, man, dude, I'm just going to go in here and say bye to my daughter.
That's mad.
Because she was living at my grandma's house because my baby mama already started messing up. And she was doing like Special K or ketamine or something. I don't even know what that stuff is, but...
I have no clue.
So she was living with my grandma already. So I was like, I kind of felt, all right, at least she's somewhere good. So I was just like, all right. So I went to the bathroom. all the dope that I had, I crushed it on the bathroom counter
On the
at my
counter.
grandma's house, sniffed it all,
Whoa.
and then smoked
bro.
a cigarette, and then hopped in my uncle's car.
Wow.
So when on the drive there, though, I was just like, man, why don't I feel like high? I just did like a whole like 20. Yeah. Like, and just like, and I was just like, okay, I don't really feel that high, but like, I got there to the home, and then when I was there, I was just kind of nervous, you know. I was just like, man, I don't know what's going on. But when I said the sinner's prayer, I just started crying. Haven't cried in a while. I just started crying, and I was just like, all right. So I went there, slept. The next day, I was already doing chores. Completely.
The next day?
The next day. Didn't even do a 3-day grace. Was delivered.
That's mad.
Didn't even fiend for it no more. Didn't even want drugs no more or anything, dude. And I've been like that since 2019 October.
That's mad, bro.
And that's how I was like, man. That's how I know it was just God's saving power, that can transform my state of mind and to put my flesh in subjection like that.
Yeah.
Because, like, I heard of people like, oh, yeah, like, oh, God did a work on me. You know, they had to, like, they were slowly, going through the process. But, like, me, I went in there high, woke up the next morning, not even coming down, and then just started to walk with God since then.
That's crazy.
That's how I was just kind of tripping, like.
That's mad.
Because, like, I got my mind, like, can fixate and, like, handle multiple situations all at once.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay, well, what is it that we do here?
Yeah.
I started asking the staff, like, hey, dude, I'm bored. Can I clean with you guys?
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, dude, here, you can clean this bathroom. And then
Yeah.
I just been going since then.
My gosh. Bro. Dang. I think you got to come back, bro. That was a lot right there. That's a lot of... I don't even know how to explain it. That right there, that story alone, you can break that in sections.
Yeah, like, because that was just like the PowerPoints of like the life altering situations and circumstances in my life.
Yeah.
But like, if I were to break down each session, there's like so much other like things in them. Like,
that's a lot, bro.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Like, yeah, I never really told them like my testimony. Like, I did it one time in the home, and like my home director's like, "Dude, what the heck?"
that's what I'm speechless.
I spent like a whole. We were supposed to have like a sermon or something that night, but I just sat there and gave my testimony for like an hour.
Sheesh.
And they were just like, "What the heck?" Like, but like me saying that to the home, to the guys in the home, because I was like head staff and I was like staff. I just wanted to like break it down so they can relate. Like, bro, I'm just one of you guys, man. Like, the same as me being a home director.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just here the same as you guys do.
Yes.
Like, I got rules I gotta follow too. I can't just pick up, bounce, and go do things. I'm in the same exact boat. I just have a title on top of me. Dude.
That's it.
That's it. I'm in the home, directing, doing the same exact thing, eating the same food, doing the same program.
Time. Yeah.
I'm just here to help you,
bro. That I guess that's what's episode 1. That's all I can say. But John, man, that was heavy. The reason why it was heavy for me, I can speak for myself. The reason why it was heavy for me because you conquered all that, and like I hear about people ODing and waking up like this fentanyl drug and all this stuff, but you did the max and still didn't feel nothing.
Yeah,
it's nuts. Like this dude doing max, like I don't know if y'all heard him, but he said he did the full syringe.
Yeah.
That ain't about that long. There's a lot of room in there. Yeah. And you didn't feel high, then you crushed up all that drugs and all together and didn't feel nothing. Like, in all that time, it's like being truthful. It's like, if you don't believe, that there's somebody upstairs, something's wrong with you. But I know we went over our time because it was so meaty. It was so needed. But John, I want you back for real, bro. Like, seriously. I mean, give us comments if you want him back. Let me know. Because that's just a part one, bro. That's the saga continue. Like, I don't know where that came from. What's saga continue? Isn't that Star Wars or something?
Yeah,
something like that. But yeah, we gotta do this again, man. Because in all that package deal that you just packaged, that was not little suitcase.
Mm-mm.
That was like a jet. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's a jet full of people right there. But thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you, man. I thank you for opening up like you did, because this is what it's about, man. It's about your life. You know what I mean? It's about life stories of how, like, you made it this far and you're not going back because you made it this far, and by you making it this far, sky's the limit. You know what I mean? This man right here, powerful, man. But I know I don't want to keep going. I don't want to keep going, but thank you again, man. This is all transformed, man. Thank you for subscribing. For the ones that's watching, thank you for watching. But until we meet again, man, let's do this, man. Let's do this together. I thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Anytime.
We out.